Hello and welcome to one of 4 programmes featuring coverage of the 1981 Springboks tour of New Zealand. This is a rare chance to see footage of this hugely controversial tour. I'm John Taylor, and back in the 70s I refused to play against South Africa because I believed a sporting boycott would help to bring an end to apartheid. I was in a small minority at the time, but by 1981 rugby was the only major sport still trying to maintain normal contacts. After Peter Hain and his protesters disrupted the 1969-70 tour to Great Britain and Ireland so effectively, the home unions had realised it was impossible to host another tour to the UK, and the Australians had taken the same view after similar disruptions in 1971. But the Lions had still gone to South Africa in 1980, and New Zealand were determined to go ahead with the 15-match, 3-test tour planned for 1981. Outside the tests, one of the toughest games in New Zealand is always against the Maori. And they were particularly focused against the Springboks because, almost unbelievably, to comply with the apartheid laws, Maori were just left out of New Zealand teams that toured South Africa until 1970. So it was a fired-up Maori 15 that faced the Springboks in Napier.
Good evening and welcome to this, the highlights of today's big rugby match between New Zealand Maoris and the touring South African team from McLean Park in Napier, the 9th appearance for the Springboks in New Zealand. Well, sadly for the organisers of this game, the weather has once again disappointed. It's been raining all night in Napier and leaving parts of McLean Park, especially the cricket pitch area now halfway, waterlogged and surface water in other areas of the pitch. Well, this was an important match for both teams today. The Springboks, their last appearance before the vital second test against the All Blacks next Saturday in Wellington, but also vital for the New Zealand Maoris because they plan an overseas tour at the end of next season. And obviously players who show out today will stand a good chance of making that tour. Well, before we look at the highlights of today's games, here are the two teams. South Africa have 7 of their first test team in their lineup to play the Maoris. They're captained by Devan Serfontein from halfback. Colin Beck, rather surprisingly in view of his good form in this tour, is being used at centre again today, and Errol Tobias is at 5/8 when it might have been more logical for the South Africans to try them the other way around. In the forwards, Johan Marais has his 3rd tour appearance. He's number 8. Taceberger joins Rob Lowe on the flanks, and of the tight 5, only De Villiers Visser was not in the South African first test team. In the Maoris team, the Dunn brothers and Stephen Pokerry made for an exciting unit close to the scrum, while the All Black Fred Woodman and the up-and-coming players Victor Simpson and Mike Clamp make for a speedy 3/4 line. They'll be backed up by the versatile Warren McLean at fullback. The pack is the tallest the Springboks have came up against on this tour. Jim Love, playing number 8 today, is 6'4", while of the locks Paul Tuoro and Hud Rickett, Tuoro is the shorter and he's 6'6". Rickett at 2'03", that's 6'8", is the tallest man ever to be an All Black. Maya Melsom, the fiery Waikato flanker, is partnered by Frank Shelford. Felix O'Carroll is the hooker, and the popular figures of Paul Koteker and Bill Bush will prop the scrum. Bill Bush, the 1974 to 1979 All Black, will captain the New Zealand Maori team. The complete Maori squad took the field before the game, and the proceedings began with the traditional Maori haka. Today's referee is Brian Duffy of Taranaki, and it's Warren McLean, the New Zealand Maoris fullback, who kicks it straight to Carol du Plessis, and he dropped that initial ball, but it's been played away by du Plessis, not ruled as a knock on, just as the dropped ball, which didn't go forward, and the ball is cleared away to touch on the 10-metre mark. So let's look. Johan Marais is at the back of the line-out for the Springboks to the left, and Frank Shelford for the New Zealand Maoris, number 7. A good palm by Tuoro. That's the halfway line. This is Maya Melson. Expect some fireworks from Melson. Now this is Richard Dunn. Away to Eddie Dunn. A penalty back at halfway. Played away between the Dunn brothers to Stephen Pokeri from Southland. A long skidding kick across the slippery grass. And that's a good position and first handling of the ball for the brilliant Southlander, Stephen Pokeri. And the thrower in will be Robert Cockrell, just outside the 22. It's Cockrell with a big bandage on the right knee and a good jump by Henny Becker. That's the 22 behind. The Maori team have come onto the field really fired up for this match. Richard Dunn to Eddie. Errol Tobias going back. Eunice has dropped it, and that's Pokeri, handy enough. Right by the line. Eunice, number 15. The Maoris really got into that. And my word, already, Graham Thorne, some dicey handling by the Springboks.
Well, there was a lot of pressure on Tobias as he went back there. But then Eunice made a mess of that completely. The ball's not going to be easy to handle today. It's going to be very slippery.
So Richard Dunn, number 9 there. The New Zealand Maori backs set up perhaps for a drop kick. Another collapse. The scrum is right near that post. And it could be making it difficult for the Springboks to actually pack down here. Away to Pokeri for the drop. And that's a goal for Stephen Pokeri. The Maoris are in the lead by 3 points to 0 after 3 minutes of play.
Well, the Maoris, instead of giving the ball out to Eddie Dunn, decided to give it to Stephen Pokeri. The flankers from South Africa went to the wrong man. Pokeri had lots of time, and right between the posts it went. There's going to be a lot of collapsing of the scrum because the hooker knows that he can't go down. If the scrum's not right, he's not going to stay there. He and the halfback have to be together.
One against the head for Felix O'Carroll. Pokeri left out. This is Victor Simpson at the 22. Infield of Frank Shelford. Great excitement here at McLean Park. Richard Dunn trying to make a pass. Koteka, number 3. Paul Tuoro, number 5. Jim Love gets it away to Eddie Dunn for the drop. A charge down by Becker, but the Springboks were up offside, and it's pretty handy right out in front of the posts. Tobias, I think, offside, and here is a chance right out in front of the posts for the New Zealand Maoris to put further points on the board.
Well, Victor Simpson had a very good game in the Inter-Island match, and there you can see the strength of that man. He forced his way through and set up a very good ruck for the Maoris, and then from that ruck they got the penalty right in front for Dunn, a chance to get 3 more points.
Dunn has hardly taken the ball back at all. He's very close to the posts. There'll be no charge. And Richard Dunn puts the Maoris out to 6 points after just 6 minutes.
Well, the Maoris couldn't have wished for a better start. 6 points up after less than 10 minutes, and now the Springboks are making mistakes like kickoffs into touch on the full, and so the Maoris with their tails right up.
Maoris came onto the field really fired up. I'm sure their haka helped them. A real expression of their team unity with the reserves on the field as well. The Maoris now have capitalised on that and have got 6 early points. And that 6 points gives them a kind of safety net to play with. They can now chance their arms. The Springboks must score twice to get the lead. There's an awful lot of pulling at the front row. Remember, the loose head, his job is to hold the scrum up, and the tight head will try to pull down to obstruct the opposition hooker's view. Big push from the Springboks. Love, away to Dunn, to Pokeri, good pass to Eddie Dunn. This is Warren McLean up and Mike Clamp. Infield, that's Melsom going down to claim it. Maoris have had the ball at almost every play in these first few minutes of this game. A left footer from Eddie Dunn to Gerry Kermasays, back to Hunis. And that was Pokeri who went through your picture, attempting to charge down the kick by Johan Hunis. Gone in the match. Richard Dunn, Eddie Dunn, Pokeri left out. This is Victor Simpson, and has been playing on the wing for Canterbury and the South Island. Good run, got through a lot of would-be tacklers. Richard Dunn, oh, Cockrell looked way offside. The kick going out towards the wing, and fullback Warren McLean up, and I think the referee might have played advantage for some South Africans being offside, and that was good refereeing by Brian Duffy.
Well, he could have penalised the Springboks for being offside. It would have been a kick of nearly 50 metres, so he then realised that perhaps a line out 12 metres from the Springbok line would be a better advantage for Green.
Cockrell throwing in defence. Carroll, Richard Dunn, Eddie Dunn, Pokeri, a good pass again, Simpson. This is Colin Beck, number 13. He's sneaked it off Victor Simpson, and that's the 22-metre line. That man there is offside. And it was Henning van Aswegen. And into the post. 12 minutes gone. Second attempted goal today for the Maoris halfback, Richard Dunn. And so another goal by Richard Dunn gives the Maoris a 9-0 lead after 12 minutes. So Eddie Dunn kicks. Taworo going high, bouncing on the hands to Paul Koteka. Paul Koteka, no doubt extremely disappointed that he didn't get a run against the Springboks for his province, Waikato. But Nelson, Koteka, really making the most of it in that Waikato pack today. 20 minutes gone, first half. Away to Tobias, to Beck. A low grubber kick, taken by McLean. Low gets him. McLean gets his kick away. But it's out on the full.
Warren McLean is one of these players who can do anything. In fact, being a jack of all trades has not really helped his football career because he seems to be slotted in where there's a gap.
That was Jim Love going through there, number 8. Now he's wandering back. And Rob Lowe, who likes to lead the twisting, turning maul, is there. He's the headband player up. And now he's pushing the Springboks back.
Good concerted drive by the Maori forwards. They're getting down low, good body positions, and they're driving in on one another. The Springboks haven't got many answers to it.
Richard Dunn now. Clamp might have started ahead of that kick. He might be ruled offside, and he is. That's Mike Clamp, who quite clearly started ahead of that kick through and was ruled quite rightly offside. Springboks have opted for the scrum at the point of the kick. Serfontein off to Murray. Ball is lost but regained again by Murray, but still a knock on. Lots of fire in the Maori loose forward trio: Frank Shelford, Maya Melsom and Jim Love. Advantage again being played. Melson trying to claim the ball. Murray, the referee is standing. We might consider this a sufficient advantage for the Maoris, halfway to the left.
It probably was an advantage because the Maoris have got the scrum put in where it would have gone into touch from a kick, and the Springboks would have fed the line out.
Since those early points of the Maoris, it's become a very tight match. There's advantage again being played. Out to Eddie Dunn. It's one of the few breakouts we've had. Woodman, now that was interesting. Woodman caught by Serpentine. The kick is chipped into the centre. Pokari again. Kermasace back, touching down. 5-metre scrum. Let's go right back and think about that kick through. You think it took the man's hand and went forward, Graham Thorne?
Well, that was good refereeing from Brian Duffy because he let the play go, and Eddie Dunn had lots of time. He brought the Springbok backs right up close. A little pop kick went over the top. It was taken by Border, but he knocked it straight into the hands of Fred Woodman, who was away down the left-hand touchline. He could see that the fullback was coming across, so he put the kick into the centre, and Pokari, who is very quick, got up to kick the ball out of Eunice's arms, but then Kermakase was across from his wing to force the ball down, and so the 5-yard scrum because he took it over the line.
Serpentine kicking high and wide and clears the ball to outside the 22. So there's Big Henny Becker. Now he's leading by 9-0. No tries yet in the game. 25 minutes gone, first half. Murray through on Richard Dunn. Rob Lowe. And hello, it's all on in here. Lowe and Nelson. Rob Lowe was speaking to the referee before actually the whistle went there. And it looks like number 7, Tace Berger, might have been on the receiving end. And there's the man they took exception to, Maya Melson.
Well, there was a little bit of how's your father down the end of the line out between Berger and Love. And I think Rob Lowe took exception to that. And then it started further up the field.
O'Carroll floating it in. Becker taps. Serpentine. Tobias. Beck. Pokari's tackle is good. Shelf it over the top. Springboks have winning the ruck. Tobias to Cockrell, waiting out in the centres. Eunice, that's the goal line ahead. Rob Lowe claims it again. Now the setup. This is the third one the Springboks have won. Serpentine. Tobias. An intercept by Clapp from Duplessis' tackle. Pass. Clapp keeping it going. It's 4-2 for South Africans there. Tobias bustled by Clapp. Kermasace also caught by Mike Clapp. Very nice play by Mike Clamp. He picked up Carol Duplessis' pass, got caught at halfway, made a kick ahead, and then got up to bustle not one South African defender, but 2 of them. Great play by the Petone and Wellington winger, Mike Clamp. It's Hudrick at number 4. Jumping well. Ryan Nelson getting the treatment from Serpentine there. Jim Love arriving in time to ruck it, and that's one thing the Maoris are good at. Keeping it going, driving hard, in low. Got 2 very big locks, Rickett and Tuoro, and a sturdy front row of Bush, Koteka and O'Carroll. Kermasace. Ball is out on the far side.
Well, Gerrie Kermasace needs this game today to force his way into the second test team as being the highest try scorer in South African test history, but he hasn't played well on this tour.
Lineup's starting to go now more regularly to South Africa. Low in that upright position. Serpentine. Tobias varying his kick this time to Simpson at the 22. Dunn. That's Fred Woodman. What a run by Woodman. And Serpentine back to take it out. Well, I remember seeing Fred Woodman one year running in the New Zealand Track and Field Championships on QE2 track, and he really looked good that time when he got the ball and really sprinted hard. So that fine run by Fred Woodman puts the Maoris back on attack. Carroll throws towards Love and Berger. This is Visser, caught by Shelford, who's made a lot of tackles in this game already.
Once again, the Maoris ball driving forward in a good position. They've got both sides of the field to work with.
Eddie Dunn, short pass from his brother, back inside the clamp. Richard Dunn through. Eddie Dunn, what a good move. Again, Richard Dunn. And in the corner, the Maoris having a lot of tricks up their sleeves. And my word, that was a bit reminiscent of the Going brothers.
Well, it was definitely the Going move where the halfback runs and does the scissors, and then the ball goes with another scissors out the other way, and that could have been a try so easily in the corner.
That's the corner flag there, taken down by the South Africans. They have a defensive penalty here. 5 minutes of running time to go till half-time. There may be a few more for injuries. A few more minutes, and Hunis to relieve the pressure here. That's a fine kick by Johan Hunis, 5 metres from his line, and that is the Maoris 10-metre line. A fine kick. That's one of Don Clark proportions, and Don Clark, the great New Zealand fullback who lives in South Africa, is here at McLean Park today watching this match. So Carroll throwing, it's again to Becker. Here's Tobias, he's in trouble. Halfway, Shelford onto him. Serpentine. McLean is here. Right, a good kick by Devan Serpentine.
Good covering up by Serpentine, because Tobias was in all sorts of trouble. He had to go and make amends for himself. He threw the ball to Serpentine. That was a good kick and got them out of a lot of trouble.
Serpentine gets Shelford at the same time. Well, Shelford hasn't heard the whistle. Oh my word. Nice touch there from Frank Shelford to wink at Darius Butta, the man he hit really hard as he came through. And just showing there's a human touch to these fired up Maori forwards. Leading by 9 points to 0 with 4 minutes to go till half time. Here's Botha again. Bounces away from Nelson that time. Big Tonk Tuoro. Coming for Richard Dunn. Eddie Dunn, low and flat for Woodman, his North Auckland teammate. Carroll throws. Coming up to half-time, Maoris lead 9-0. That's Berger kicking it ahead. Good take by McLean. Clamp getting away from Asperger. And that's half-time with that kick going to touch, and the Maoris have completed an excellent first 40 minutes in this match. They started strongly with the drop goal to Pakeri and added penalties by Richard Dunn after 6 minutes and 12 minutes, and they lead by the margin of 9 points at half-time.
I missed it from the plate.
Back at McLean Park in Napier, Johan Hurnes begins the second half of this match between the New Zealand Maoris and South Africa. And the Maoris are asked for their choice at that kick-off. They can have the kick again, but they've instead gone back under their captain Bill Bush and are taking the scrum to effectively begin the second half in this manner. The Maoris leading by 9-0. No tries yet in the game. A steady done from his brother. Away from Mike Clamp. Hurnes coming up. I think one of the interesting things of the second half for Graham Thorne will be whether the Maoris can keep it up, keep their fitness up. They certainly came into the match very hot and strong, didn't they? But they seemed to fade towards the end of the first 40 minutes. There's Felix O'Carroll, who's probably in the team only because of the injury to Hicka Reid. Richard Dunn off to Shelford. A good little pass to Frank Shelford. Beats Hermesace's tackle, lobs the ball in field to Paul Koteka. Bill Bush is there and Hermesace puts it out. Well, Frank Shelford is turning into one of the players of this match. But what a good pass in close by Richard Dunn to set him on that excellent run down to the corner. So there's a Carroll's throw. Rickett going high, advantage being played. Wasn't in straight. And again, the man causing most concern to the Springboks in their defence is number 7, Frank Shelford from Bay of Plenty. Having a great game. 7 minutes gone, second half. Tobias, Richard Dunn through. The ball is up in the air and out near the corner flag. That's a difficult one for the touch judge to judge on, but he said it did make the field of play and over the touchline, so a hurried kick by Tobias gives the Maoris a good chance. O'Carroll throws. Taken by Becker. Back to Tobias again. Again, a very high kick to touch by Errol Tobias. I think the Maoris have noticed that in his technique, he gathers the ball and swings his arm a bit, which means the kick is not away straight away. And it gives him a fraction of a second to get onto him for the kick, or the charge down. So the Maoris making good play here. Loose ball, again hurried out. There's not been much running rugby in the second half. We've had about 9 minutes. It's been played mostly along this near touchline in a battle of lineouts. With just that one run by Frank Shelford. Bill Bush tried for the deflection, got it. Richard Dunn, Eddie Dunn. He's got Tasteberger as well. Serfontaine gets the fair catch.
Well, it's very important for the Maoris this next 5 minutes. They've got to score a try. If they can score a try, they could win this game.
Richard Dunn, he passed to his captain, Bill Bush. Hudrick at number 4, trying to wrestle clear for the maul. Richard Dunn peering into the depths there. Turned and driven away now. Serfontaine, Tobias. And that's a better clearance by Errol Tobias.
I think equally as important it is to the Springboks, because they have to get over this Maori attack and get back into the Maori half and score some points. 9 points down. They've got the job ahead of them.
It's often been an old rugby theory that the first team to score after half-time will win a match. Good apply in this one. 9-0, the Maoris lead. Tobias has juggled it well, but did knock it on. Just lost control of it on his hands. Looked a bit disappointed at the referee's decision. So the scrum forming up 10-metre mark, Springbok territory. Maya Melsom on the near side of this flank position. Serfontaine. Good pass, Richard Dunn to Eddie Dunn. To Simpson. A dipping pass there to Woodman on the left wing. Victor Simpson with the ball again. He's getting well screwed by Colin Beck, but the Maoris have a penalty. Let's see what referee rules here. He's ruling that the Springboks did not retire 10 metres.
And that was what they call gamesmanship, where Richard Dunn just took the ball and just looked for a Springbok to run into and got the 10 metres.
So that's the distance for Richard Dunn after 11 minutes. Oh, fine kick, but it just dropped under the bar. Serfontein slipped. He got his kick away. It's coming down midfield. Paul Kotek is under it. Taken by Visser, strong charge. Berger diving in over the top. It's there for Richard Dunn. Away to Eddie Dunn. Chipping through for the corner flag. Across comes Heunis. Some bruising, physical play there from both teams. And an excellent kick by Richard Dunn. Just coming down under the bar. Serfontein slipping, and then it all happened to put the Maoris now 18 metres from the Springbok line. Richard Dunn to Oro.
Well, every team that's played the Springboks have said they're a very physical side. The Maoris are giving as good as the Springboks are giving to them.
Just a stoppage there. If someone took a breather. Serfontein in defence. And Carroll got those two early tight hits. Warren McLean building it up from the back. Loose ball, it rolled the Maoris' way, but Serfontein has it. Love almost got an intercept. Tobias caught by Maya Melson. There's trouble. And that is Melson and Berger, and though they had that tussle in the first half, Brian Duffy calling for restraint. The Springboks are feeling the pressure, no doubt. They haven't scored any points in 55 minutes or so of rugby. Forward pass there from Serfontein to Carol du Plessis. Forward pass from the scrum. So Bill Bush, the captain, giving the instructions before he goes down this time. And the Maoris have done very well in the second half. They've kept the play up in South African territory. 15 minutes in the second half, still 9-0. Love holding. Referee is indicating out to the backs there could be a penalty there. Yes, there is. A penalty against the South Africans for being up offside. Now the referee made a clear indication there that he was playing advantage. And here is a chance for the Maoris to extend that lead to 12 points. Quiet moment here at McLean Park. And hit the post, bounced clear. Now this is on for the two number 13s, Beck and Simpson. Now that was a bad miss for Richard Dunn. It hit the post and bounced away. Bad luck, but a bad miss, Graham Thorne.
But South Africa didn't look good when they were trying to get the ball back over their own line, and now the Maoris have got the scrum. They've got a big blind to the left. Everything's on in their half.
Richard Dunn tried to lure them offside, low to Berger, to Murray, the three loose men working in concert for South Africa. That's the goal line there. That's Hempy's du Toit. And a penalty to the South Africans in defence.
And things are getting very hot in there, and there could be a big blow-up soon because the rucks are getting very dark.
17 minutes gone, second half. Colin Beck plays it where it lay, kicked it behind Warren McLean, and that's a good, healthy clearance of yardage for the South Africans right up to halfway from their centre, Colin Beck. So Carroll to throw at halfway. It's interesting to note the Springboks have put Tobias into centre, playing Beck at fly half at the moment, and that's Beck caught in there by Victor Simpson. Johan Maoris. Shelford through on Beck, giving him a hot introduction to the fly half position. And I think that's Victor Simpson again leading things through. Richard Dunn. Oh, an intercept by Hermes, but the referee must make a penalty as Hermes is away. But the referee did the right thing. One of the Maori players was taken out of the play. As the ball came out, Richard Dunn made a little rush to their blind side and pushed his hands through the tackle, trying to swing the ball to the two men out to his right. But further out, one of the Maori players was taken out of the play by Carol Duplessis, and as the ball was intercepted by Hermes, who raced away, the referee was on the spot to see the Maori player taken out and awarded the penalty. So here's Richard Dunn with his second penalty attempt in a few moments. And that's the one the Maoris wanted. Richard Dunn's third penalty gives them 12-0. There's today's captain of the South African team, Devan Serfontein, the smallest man in their team. Look how he compares with Big Henny Becker, 6'6.5". Becker seemed to be lifted that time. The referee was up at the back. Lowe is trying to roll it again. Good work by Rob Lowe. Excellent play indeed. Now, Carol Duplessis left out. Simpson, who's tackled magnificently all day, gets Tobias. This is Carol Duplessis to Darius Botha, who's had a walk-on, walk-off part in this match. And there's a penalty to the South Africans for a late tackle. And here could be their chance for points. I think they'll kick for goal here rather than go for the tap.
Well, they've got to go for the three-pointer. It's the chances of them getting a try against the Maori defence, I would say, would be almost non-existent. The 3 points are what they want, and a quick 30-second kick for goal. 3 points, 12-3. They've still got to score twice, though.
Colin Beck taking the shot at goal. And the South Africans are on the board at last. With 24 minutes gone in the second half, Beck kicks the penalty goal that starts them, but the Maoris still have the lead. That means the South Africans have to score twice more to get to the front. Richard Dunn to Frank Shelford. This had got him. Good run though again by Shelford.
Well, if one man's caught the eye of the New Zealand selector today, it's definitely Frank Shelford from the Bay of Plenty. He's been everywhere. The ball hasn't been far away from him throughout the whole game.
Richard Dunn away to Eddie Dunn. Simpson going straight into Serfontein. Bukeri. McLean at halfway, trying to find Fred Woodman. Woodman's got it. Here's the speedster. Chipping it square. Kunis caught by Woodman. But a brave, fair catch claimed by Johan Kunis, the Springbok fullback. He was really under the heat of the charge by Woodman, but claimed it well. And a good clearance too by Johan Kunis, the South African fullback. "27 minutes gone. 13 minutes remain in the game. The Maoris lead by 12-3. Perhaps headed for a dramatic first victory over the South Africans.
And Brian Duffy, the referee, has penalised the Maoris for lifting there. So I'm sure that Big Henny Becker will be laughing to himself because he's had all the help in the world for the last 20 minutes.
Beck slicing the big wipers kick across towards Clamp. Clamp a little casual, and now the race is on, and Hermesage could make a dramatic try, and he has. That's the first try of the game, and it came after a rather casual piece of play by Mike Clamp.
Well, it just goes to show what happens if you take your eye off the ball and you're a bit lazy to get down to the ball. It's a good kick across field, a big wipers by Beck. Hermesage was following up very quickly, and Mike Clamp seemed to have all the time in the world, but he just seemed to take his eye off it. He didn't get to the ball, it bounced a little bit. Hermesage got the boot to it, followed it through, and had all the time in the world. He picked it up well, just short of the line, and dived over for the try that brought the Springboks right back into this game.
And Beck chips the goal. 12 points to 9, and we're going to have an exciting last 10 minutes in this match. So there is the Maoris captain, Bill Bush, an All Black for 37 matches and 12 tests through 74 to 79. But right now, this match assuming great importance for the Canterbury veteran. And he done again, driving the Springboks back, and that's a great kick. A fine kick by Eddie Dunn puts the Maoris back on attack. Just over 4 minutes to go. Whistle again. Boy, the advantage is being played. Let's see, back. There's a knock on. Eddie Dunn was set, I think, for a drop kick, but it was advantage being played for South Africa. And they have not been able to get too close to the Maoris line. Beck chipping out towards Woodman. Caught by Carol Duplessis. Shelford there. And Johan Murray, number 8. Jim Love arriving. The Maoris pushing forward. Well, you can see the adulation and admiration that this Maori effort has won from the crowd. They looked a beaten team for a patch there in the second half, but now they've come back, and the Springboks are feeling the pressure as they can't get near the Maori line. And it looks like only a breakout can give South Africa victory. Eddie Dunn with a low drop kick. Eunice is going to field the ball. No one's going to give it to him. He has to go right back for it himself. Well, the Maoris have done a magnificent job in keeping the Springbok team out, especially when the Springboks were looking so dominant about 10 minutes ago. Beck kicks. Taken by the South Africans. Serfontein. Is this the break the Springboks are looking for? Hit the Kermasace at halfway. Serfontein. Chases on. Loose ball. A knock on by Kermasace. A knock on by Kermasace. Rob Lowe is looking shocked. The ball was towed through.
It just shows you what two players in unison can do. It was only Serfontein and Hermesage, but they took the play right up from inside their own 22, up within the 15-metre line, within 5 or 6 metres from the line. It was from Serfontein to Hermesage, inside again to Serfontein, back out to Hermesage. Then Serfontein put the kick through. The chase was on. Paul Carey was there with Hermesage. A bit of pushing and shoving, but then the ball went off Hermesage over the line, and the referees brought them back for the scrum 8 or 9 metres from the Maori goal line.
So will this be the scrum where the Springboks can make a try to save the game? Right on the goal line. Serfontein, the captain, looking for the ball, but a scrum is awarded with the Springboks. They must try for the push over here. They must go for and use that weight that they've got advantage per man, setting their grips, getting down. They must try for a pushover. Now, can the Maoris hold them? Remember, when the ball clears the line, the scrum ceases to exist and anyone can drop on it for the try. Right in the last minute. Maoris have collapsed it, so that prevents the pushover. Away to Beck. Drop goal attempt. He's missed it. Right out in front of the post with men to his right. There is confusion here. The referee has gone to halfway, though perhaps that kick went over. No. What has happened here? The Maoris are waiting at the 22. The referee's at halfway, but he didn't signal that as a goal.
It had to be. It went over. Brian Duffy has said it went over, and it's a restart from halfway.
Yes, he said that kick went over. But I don't think he signalled it with his hand, but anyway, he said it's gone over. There is confusion on the field in the last minute of the game. That's the score we think now, 12-all. Bill Bush has come forward to ask the question. The kick must have gone over because they're restarting with a place kick at halfway. Colin Beck had the ball out in front of the posts. He drop kicked for a goal and it went over. The referee seemed confused. The players certainly were, and as the players come up to halfway to restart in that confusing finish, Brian Duffy in centre stage has whistled the end of the match, a 12-all draw. Really a magnificent game, a confusing end, but perhaps the fairest result, Graham Thorne, because it was a tense and tough struggle all the way.
Well, I don't know if the Springboks deserve to get out with a draw there. I think the Maoris deserved to win. They played the game. They took it right to the Springboks. They built up a lead. They saw it snatched back from them. But I think overall the Maoris deserved to win, but the Springboks very lucky to get out with a draw.
A mistake from the 3.